Formula One's first event in Las Vegas for decades is in the books, but as the dust settles in Nevada, can the race be deemed a success or failure? From disgruntled fans, farcical track conditions and drivers' complaints, the Las Vegas Grand Prix is by no means a big winner just yet. Problems with FP1. Now, considering the many hundreds of millions of dollars F1 had poured into the Vegas race, their hearts would have sunk just 8 minutes into the first practice session. The Alpine of Esteban Ocon was the first to drive over what would prove to be a troublesome drain, and the impact of his car was enough to spell disaster for Carlos Sainz. The Ferrari driver passed over the cover and it destroyed his car. A new floor, new chassis parts, and an entirely new engine showed the true extent of the damage, but there were far wider reaching problems for F1. In an almost unprecedented move, the stewards cancelled FP1 after just 8 minutes, and it was soon announced by the FIA that FP2 was delayed for the foreseeable future. Rescheduled start times came and went until FP2 finally started at 2:30 in the morning. The problem was, there was no one in there to see it. Fans kicked out. The Vegas race was already the most expensive on the calendar, with fans forced to pay several hundreds of dollars just to sit within the vicinity of the track. Well, you can imagine those fans' anger when they were kicked out of their very expensive seats before the cars even took to the track. The nature of the delayed session brought a huge number of problems for F1. For a start, their use of the strip was only a temporary thing, and it took a last-minute deal for the city to agree to keep the road closed for a few more hours. But the strip was not F1's biggest problem. At 1:30 AM, a full hour before FP2 started, fans were seen leaving the circuit, and soon social media was flooded with complaints. Las Vegas GP CEO Renee Wilm explained why. She said, "The delay in the start of the second free practice session from midnight to 2:30 AM PT created risk for our employees and our fans. We made the decision to close the fan areas that are under LVGP's purview at 1:30 AM PT and send fans home. Let us explain why. First, we were concerned about our public safety and security officials who had been in service for a long time and who are being asked to work for the next 3 nights. We thank Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, Department of Public Works and other public safety officials for their incredible support during the event and also as we reopened the track early this morning. Second, we were concerned about our transportation employees who are responsible for driving our fans back to hotels. By federal law, they were bumping up against the amount of time they can legally and safely drive buses. Finally, our hospitality staff needed the ability to clean and resupply our guest areas to ensure that the fan experience is optimal for everyone over the coming days. We know this was disappointing. We hope our fans will understand based on this explanation that we had to balance many interests, including the safety and security of all participants and the fan experience over the whole race weekend. We have all been to events like concerts, games and even other Formula One races that have been cancelled because of factors like weather or technical issues. It happened and we hope people will understand." Well, in the 900-word statement put out by F1, not one of them was an apology, and fans' thoughts were only going to get more angry the following day. F1's poor token of apology. You would expect having seen just 8 minutes of running and being forcibly ejected before the second session would be a guaranteed refund. Think again. In the greedy world of F1, it was always going to be an uphill battle, and the lack of refunds for the washed-out 2021 Belgium Grand Prix was already a huge warning sign. So imagine the surprise when on Friday, fans were informed that they would not be getting their money back, but instead a $200 voucher for the track shop. A statement by F1 read, "There is no higher priority at a Formula One race than the safety and security of drivers, fans and staff alike." A message sent to single-day ticket holders stated. Following last night's incident involving a water valve cover, the Las Vegas Grand Prix, F1 and the FIA were faced with a difficult decision to close the fan zones prior to the beginning of free practice 2. "We appreciate your patience while we remedied the situation. This was not a decision we took lightly. As a thank you for your support, we would like to offer you a $200 voucher to the Las Vegas Grand Prix official shop." But one man who could see through this bullshit was Max Verstappen. "If I were a fan, I'd tear the whole place down. That can't be right," the world champion said, and it was not the first criticism coming from his mouth. Max Verstappen tears into Vegas race. Verstappen's issues began before a wheel had even turned. A lavish opening ceremony was not his ideal start to a race weekend. He said, "For me, you can skip this. We're just standing up there looking like a clown." But that was not to be his only complaint. As for the event itself, he described it as 99% show, 1% racing. Verstappen continued, "I don't know. I guess I'll still make money if I like it or not, so it's not up to me. But I'm also not going to fake it. I just always voice my opinion on positive things and negative things. That's just how I am. Some people like the show a bit more. I don't like it at all. I grew up just looking at the performance side of things, and that's how I see it as well. So for me, I like to be in Vegas, but not so much for racing. We're not a stakeholder, so we just go with it. They decide what they do, right? I would do the same if I was the owner. I wouldn't listen to the drivers. It's my sport. I would do with it what I want if that would be the case." Toto Wolff defends Vegas race. But the negative voice was not unanimous within F1, and indeed Mercedes boss Toto Wolff launched into an angry tirade when it was suggested the cancelled FP1 was a black eye for the sport. He said, "That is not a black eye. This is nothing. We're Thursday night. We have a free practice session that we're not doing. They're going to see the drain covers, and no one is going to talk about it tomorrow morning anymore. It's completely ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. How can you even dare talk bad about an event that sets the new standards to everything? And then you're speaking about a fucking drain cover that came undone that has happened before. It's nothing. It's FP1. Give credit to the people that have set up this Grand Prix, that have made the sport much bigger than it ever was. Have you ever spoken good about someone and written a good word? You should talk about all these people that have been out there. Liberty has done an awesome job, and just because in FP1 and a drain cover has become undone, we shouldn't be moaning. The car is broken. That's really a shame. For Carlos, it could have been dangerous, so between the FIA, the track, and everybody needs to analyse how we can make sure this is not happening again. But to talk about a black eye for the sport on Thursday evening, no one watches it on European time anyway. Come on." Well, it was a remarkable outburst by a man who's usually so composed, and perhaps show how the constant criticism of the race is getting to people within the paddock. What about the race itself? In defense of the race itself, it was actually an exciting one, with a battle for first, a last lap overtake, and plenty of heroics up and down the grid. But how did the drivers feel about the circuit? The slick nature of the Vegas tarmac coupled with cold tyres led to plenty of zero grip moments, and Aston Martin driver Fernando Alonso highlighted it as a concern. The Spaniard said, "We need balance, as we said this week. There is not much fun to drive this kind of circuit at speeds of 360 km an hour with no grip, no visibility, bouncing, and those kind of things. I know the show from the outside maybe looks good, but these cars are not made to go through corners at 80 km per hour. These cars are made to go in Suzuka, to go in Barcelona, to go in Silverstone and maximise F1 potential. I think we need to balance the championship and balance the calendar. I think it's what we're doing, but I don't think that this is the only way to go. I think we need to have to keep some traditional races as well, where the F1 car can shine." Final verdict. No doubt the race itself saved Vegas from being a total disaster, but an exciting race can't expunge what came before. F1's handling of the events of Thursday, and indeed the whole build-up to the race, have left a sour taste in the mouth of those who call the city home. A $200 gift voucher is a poor apology for tickets that will have cost several times more of that, and the disruption the race caused is going to make it hard to win some fans back. The circuit proved it could produce excitement, but if Vegas is going to be a success in the future, F1 must learn from their mistakes. As always, thanks for watching this video, and let us know in the comments whether you thought the Vegas race was a success or a total failure. In the meantime, be sure to like the video and hit subscribe so you never miss a release here on the DRS Straight.